Alafia, Hotep, and Kamusta. Welcome to the Mind of Ro page. I am Obajaguna, Reina das Caveras. I am the Queen of Skulls. So today I'm going to make a video on the steps you need to take to get initiated, because I get a lot of people who ask me what do they need to do, their interests. So I'm just going to do a little basic rundown on how to do that, particularly in Ifa, Isese, and Kambanda, African traditional religions, because I am a priestess in these two practices. So this is basically what I'm going to talk about today. So the last video I made was on attachment issues. I was talking about attachment theory and what kind of attachment style you may have. So if you like that kind of stuff, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Mind of Ro. I also have a TikTok and Instagram and a Twitter at Mind of Ro, and I also have a business Facebook page at The Mind of Ro. And I also do readings, and initiations, obviously. That's why I'm making this video in the first place. So if you would like to just get a reading done, go ahead and just message me on Instagram, or get initiated. Go ahead and just message me on Instagram and my Facebook business page. I also have a WhatsApp, and you'll see that on those pages as well. So I'm also connected with Paleros and Voodooists. So if you don't know where to go, which direction to go, you could always contact me. I'll forward you somewhere as well. So what is Ifa? Ifa is a Yoruba religion that goes by a divination system paired with Isese, which consists of ancestral reverence, paying homage to our own Ori, who is our head, and to Orisha. So what are Orishas? Orishas are forces of nature that mediate between Olodumare, also known as God, and humanity. They're divine spirits. So here are just some basic steps on getting initiated into Ifa or Isese if you are interested. You do need to start out with a reading where I will give you your Odu. So basically, for people who are not familiar what that means, Odu is basically, I'm going to tell you what energy that you're living in, basically. And then I'm going to let you know if you are in Ire or a Sogbo. So Ire basically means that you are in alignment with destiny, or you're in alignment with your higher purpose. And a Sogbo means that you're going away from your higher purpose. And if you want to get initiated, I also could just do the reading by itself. If you just want to do a reading, I could just do that. But when you get initiated, you will need to get your Orisha parents named. Now, some Iles only name their head Orisha. I tend to name both your head Orisha and the Orisha at your feet. Basically, what that means is you have one Orisha you think like the most, and one Orisha you walk like the most, as in the path that you tend to walk. So you have a male Orisha, as in a father Orisha, and a mother Orisha. So if you want to get initiated, at least into my Ile, you would need to get your Orisha parents' name, so I would have an idea, if you were approved to be initiated, who would you be initiated into. And that during the reading is also when your approval would be listed during the reading. Now, it is Ifa, so we speak to Ifa when we do the reading. We talk, basically, I'm talking to source. So for those of you who are very not familiar with the practice, or not sure what I'm talking about, that's basically what I'm doing is speaking to source. I guess that's the easiest, simplest way to say for people who are not familiar with Ifa. When we are divining, that's basically what we're doing. And of course, using our own intuition. And we use a tool called an opuele. Basically, it's like a chain we throw on the ground, and it gives us answers that we're searching for. So, and that is when your initiation is either, you were either approved or for initiation, or you're not. So a lot of people ask me, or will come up to me and be like, well, can I just get initiated to Shango? It doesn't work that way. You do not decide who you want to be initiated into. There is a such thing of naturally being drawn to your Orisha, but a lot of times people don't know this, that sometimes people need to be initiated into Orisha because they need that energy in their life. So no, you can't just go up to a priestess of an Orisha, like a priestess of Oshun, and be like, I want to be initiated. It's not up to you. It's up to the Orisha, and it's up to Ifa. It is Ifa, and it is the Orisha that decides who you get initiated into, or which priesthood, or which Orisha, or which path that you take. Just so you know that. So, because a lot of people just Shango and Oshun are the most popular orishas. I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people, a lot of women want to be Oshun, a lot of men want to be Shango. Everyone, not everyone, but a lot identify with those two orishas are the most popular ones. So everybody can't be Oshun, everybody can't be Shango. Okay, somebody has to be Ogun, somebody has to be Obatala, somebody has to be Eshu. You know, because all the orishas, as above, so below, the orishas live through us as well. So if you get if you are approved for initiation or not approved for initiation, it is not up to us as a practitioner. It is not up to us as a priest. It is up to Ifa. It is up to the reading. So don't take it personal if you don't get approved to be initiated into a orisha you want, or don't be upset if you are told to get initiated into a different orisha. That means it's good for you. That means you need it, and the orishas know, and Ifa knows, and you're human. You don't know. The whole point of why people get initiated is to learn the craft and to be healed by orisha. So the next step after that is you would need to do Ebo. So Ebo is every single time you get an Ifa reading, it always comes with Ebo. So when you talk to priests and if it's your first time ever getting a reading, don't act surprised. The priest is like, you need to do Ebo. Every reading is going to require an Ebo. So Ebo is basically offerings that the orishas are requiring from you to kind of clean up your life. Nobody's perfect at all on this planet. Therefore, everybody needs some kind of Ebo to help clean stuff up. It also can consist, Ebo can consist of also, it's basically sacrifices that need to be done. It also can consist of avoiding taboos. A taboo could be stop drinking alcohol, stop eating a specific food, stop arguing with your spouse, etc. This Ebo could also consist, or sacrifice could also consist of changing your character. A reading will say, hey, you need to stop doing this and you need to do more of this. Like stop being hot-headed, be more cool-headed, for example. The sacrifice could also consist of Ori work, where a ritual would need to be done where we do some work with your Ori. I'm not going to get into it now, but that's, if you want to know more, you'd have to message me and find out what that means. Or also an Ewe bath or a spiritual bath, or a head washing sometimes is needed as well. For more information about that, you would need to get a reading done and be involved in the practice. And it just depends on everyone's different on what somebody needs, or if they do or don't need at this time. And of course, life changes. A big sacrifice that everybody needs to do in their life is to learn how to make life changes. Like if you're working in a job you know you're not happy at, then a lot of times Ifa will say you need to change it up. You know, common sense, stuff like that. But sometimes it's not common sense. Sometimes we need a reading to tell us, hey, your thoughts and feelings are valid. Go this way instead. So after that, you need to set an appointment to get the Ebo done, or whatever else, and then make it in your mind, and that you need to change certain things in your life, and make it happen. And also, if you want to be initiated, you will need to participate within the Ile that you want to be initiated into. And my advice to you as well is whoever is initiating you, you should take the time to get to know that person, so that you're not getting stuck with a person who doesn't know what they're doing, who's going to mess up the initiation, and you're not going to get stuck with a controlling person, or you're not going to get stuck with a person who's going to initiate you and disappear somewhere and you never hear from them again, and then you have no guidance. So take the time to get to know somebody for a while before you get initiated. That is my advice. Initiation does cost money, because it takes a lot of energy for priests to initiate you, so don't expect handouts, don't expect anybody to do it for free. Don't be all like, you shouldn't charge people to heal. If we're getting paid to do a 9-to-5 for a company, we should definitely be getting paid for doing healing work and doing what Olodumare, or what our higher purpose assigned us, or reassigned us to do on this planet, okay? So don't be greedy and expect anyone to be just handing you out Ebo, free readings, free initiations. And don't work that way. We need to eat too, okay? Every priest is different. Every price is different. How the payments are done is different. It just depends on who you go through, okay? It depends on what you're being initiated to and who you're working with and stuff like that. So I can't tell you the prices, okay? A lot of times in my Ile, we do not allow refunds. So you can't like say, okay, I'm going to get initiated and be like, I changed my mind. No. Once you start making payments in our Elay, it's done, DZ. That's it. And then you get initiated. Stop playing around. And other Elays, I don't know. A lot of them don't do refunds. Maybe some do. I don't know the situation. Maybe if it was, maybe it depends on the circumstance. If there is like an emergency or something like that. But I mean, it just really depends. But majority of the time, a lot of people don't do refunds. So once you start making payments, don't be changing up on people and stuff. And to be honest, as a priestess, it's kind of annoying when people do that. That actually kind of means that you're just not serious anyways. So if you're not showing your seriousness from the beginning, you sure ain't gonna be serious once you get initiated. So you need to show seriousness that you're actually gonna be dedicated to your Orisha and to this path, or don't bother nobody about it. Go on and do your thing, and then don't plan on getting initiated until you are for sure that you're ready to dedicate your life to this path. Don't break promises. Do not get Ebo done and go in front of a Orisha altar and be like, I promise to get initiated, and not get initiated. A lot of times what will happen is you'll get Ebo done and ask for Orisha for support to get initiated. If you get gifted money and then you change your mind, you can be punished by it energetically. Okay, so do not make false promises to Orishas that you cannot keep. Okay, next one is, after that you will get listed implements for your Orishas. I'm not going to tell you what those implements are. You only get those implements and get the list when you're approved to be initiated and when you make payments. Unless somebody else gives you that, everyone's different. Then you need to set the date to be initiated, and they need to show up and do the initiation. You do need to pay for the flight, pay for your hotel, unless you could stay at the priest's home. Then everyone's different. Some awos will allow you to stay at their place, and some don't. Some have the space for that, and some don't. So it just depends on who you're getting initiated by. So just expect that as well. Some will also fly to you to initiate you. It just depends on who you're going through. So the next one is, initiation steps are secret. A lot of people be like, I want to be initiated, I'm approved. Yeah, I'm approved. And then people get excited. Okay, what do I expect? It's a secret. This is called a secret society. Initiations is so you're getting initiated into the secrets of Isese and Ifa. So it wouldn't be a secret if we told you what you're going to go through before you initiate it. Okay? So don't ask for things knowing it's a secret. And this is what happens all the time. People want to be initiated and be like, well, I don't want to get initiated unless you tell me what I'm going to go through when I get initiated. Well, then don't get initiated then. We don't care. Like, I'm going to be all right. I don't know about other people. Some people might depend on paying their bills with the practice. Personally, me, my bills are going to be paid regardless if you get initiated or not. I don't care. So, like, if you want to know all the stuff that's going to happen and what to expect when you get initiated, or you're not going to get initiated, most priests don't care what you think. I'm going to be honest with you. You're not going to be told what's going to happen when you get initiated. You want to know what's going to happen when you get initiated? Then get initiated. And then when you get initiated, you are not to tell other people what happened during that time. And you're to make an oath to say you're not going to tell anybody. So the next one is, what's the next step? Oh, we will tell you what to bring to initiation. We will tell you everything that you need when you're approved to be initiated and right before you get initiated. And a lot of places will tell you where you're going to go. Some people won't even tell you where you're going to go up until the time you get initiated. So don't get your panties in a bunch or your boxers in a bunch if you find out you're about to get initiated and you paid money and the priest or priestess doesn't want to tell you, number one, what you're going to go through and where you're going to go. Don't be surprised if it happens. A lot of people do that. A lot of us practitioners are very private. We don't just run off telling people where we're at and stuff like that. So, and some people have more open houses and stuff. So, I mean, everybody's different. So, don't get all butthurt and angry if you're like, and then get all like suspicious, like, oh, they're just trying to do me dirty, blah, blah, blah. Maybe some people are, because there are some dirty people out there. But don't be surprised if they're like not going to tell you where you're going up until you actually start going over there. Just, it can happen. So, just so you know that ahead of time. Also, know that every initiation is different. Hold on. So know that whatever you go through or whatever you're told to do be prior, your requirements and whatever you go through is for you and you only. As in, if you hook up with the community and somebody else get initiated, and don't be all like, well, why is that person getting that? Or why am I not? Or why this or why that? Every single person's initiation is different. Every single person's process is different. Every single person's healing process is different, because everybody is different. So know that what you go through, what is required of you in the process that you're going to go through, initiation, before, while, and after, every single person's experience is different. So do not compare yours with anybody else. Okay? And on top of that, every taboo is different. So when you get a reading done, a lot of times we'll tell you a taboo, as in don't eat chicken, for example, or something like that. Know that it's only for you. So just because you have Yemaya at your head, and then you meet somebody else who has Yemaya at their head, and you were told not to eat fish, it doesn't mean that you run around and tell everybody who has Yemaya over their head that they can't eat fish. That taboo is just for you, not for everybody. Okay? Yeah, so that's basically it. Those are the steps. If you're interested in being initiated, just shoot me a message if you want to be initiated into any Orishas or Ifas, like that. So I also practice Kambanda. I'm a Kumbandera. So what is Kambanda? Kambanda is an Afro-Brazilian religion that is associated with magic rituals where we work with Eshus and Pampagiras. So it's a little different, and every single path is different. The way the process is to get initiated into Kambanda versus Ifa versus Shango versus Oshun versus Palo versus Voodoo. Everything is different. But majority of the time, they start out kind of the same, which is a reading. You have to get a reading done to be approved to be initiated. You cannot just go to any house and say, I want to be initiated, and they're like, okay, come on in. A reading always needs to be done. I don't care what practice it is. Palo, Voodoo, Ifa, Isese, Kabbalah, whatever, Lukumi. You have to get a reading done in every single one to be initiated. And if you decide, like let's say you go to me and I list your initiation, what you're approved for, and what your Orisha parents, and then you go to somebody else, they're going to ask to do a reading on you again to see what you're approved for. Don't be surprised. Don't get butthurt, because a lot of people do that. Like, well, I already got a reading. Can I give you the list of what somebody else? If you're going to get initiated or go get a reading from one house and go to another, each person you go to needs to get a reading. They need to do it themselves for their house, so they know for sure that the reading was done correctly, so they know for sure what they are supposed to be initiating you into or not initiating you into. So you can't just take my reading and go hand it off to everybody else and be like, I don't want to get a reading by you and pay for it because I already got a reading. Can you initiate me into this? It doesn't work that way. You're going to have to pay for another reading from another house, from another practitioner, another priest, another priestess. That's just how it works. So don't be surprised if you come across that. So in Kambanda, you will need to get a reading done. And it depends who it is. Sometimes they might require you to get a reading done, like a basic reading done, and then later on get a separate reading done to find out who your Eshu and Pampajira is. How it worked with me is how I would do it as well, is you would get a reading done, and then Eshu and Pampajira would say, hey, this is what you need to do to get a little healing. You need some healing. Everybody needs some healing done. Just like how in Ifog, when you get a reading done, you need to make Ebo. Same thing. So when you get a reading done in Kambanda, same thing. Eshu and Pampajira is going to stand up and say, hey, we are telling you that you need to go do this, that. Whatever that consists of. And then you'll know what you need to do when you get the reading, because every single person is different. It'll be an offering. It could be a bath. It could be change of behavior. Anything. So after that, then you would need to get another reading to find out if you're approved to be initiated. If you're accepted by Eshu Eshu Pampajira to see if you are for sure, that you for sure have a Eshu Pampajira that walks with you. And then that's when that reading is done to let you know which one walks with you. And then just like in Ifa, you will then be listed the implements that you will need for your Eshu Pampajira to be initiated. And you will not know that until you get a reading, because everyone is different. So just know, like I said before, every initiation is different. So let's say I have Tata Kavera. Let's say you get a reading and you also get Tata Kavera. It doesn't mean that your Tata Kavera is going to want all the same things my Tata Kavera wants. They're always different. So just respect that and expect it, or know that's what's going to happen. And like I said, also your initiation process between being marked. So what you do is you get marked first, and then you go through the full initiation. Your experience that you go through with your spirits, whether you're working with Orisha, whether you're working with Eshu and Pampajira, whether you're in Palo, whenever you go through these initiations, the experience you have with your spirits is personal to you. Because something I realized from when I first started my YouTube channel, I would share like my personal experiences of like talking to Obatala or talking to my Tata Kavera. And I've had like random people be like, oh, that's not a typical experience. There is no such thing as a typical experience. Everyone is different. Everyone who gets initiated into Obatala has a different experience with their Obatala. Everyone who's initiated into Quimbanda has a different experience with their Eshu, has a different experience with their Pampajira. Just because I get Rosa Kavera and you get Rosa Kavera doesn't mean we're going to have the exact same spiritual experience. That's wishful thinking, and kind of like your mind's in a box if you actually believe that everyone's supposed to have the exact same experience as you. Nobody is going to have the same experience as you. And that's okay, because it's for you. It is your experience, and whatever experience I had is just for me. So there is no wrong experience. There is no right experience. Expect things to change around in your life when you get initiated. If your life does not change around when you get initiated, then what is the point? The whole point of you being initiated is so your life will move and change around for the better. That's the whole point. And the point is also so you can learn the craft. So you can get the wisdom to know how to practice the occult in that practice. That is what it's for. That's the whole point of the process of why you would do it in the first place. So, and the same steps like the other one, once you gather your implements, whatever the priest tells you, or whatever your Tata or Yaya tells you, this is what you need to get, then you're going to make your payments for the initiation. Same thing. Some people will accept refunds, some people won't. I'm just saying, like, once you start making payments, don't try to pull back. Like make your mind up. Like, once you start, just be like, okay, I'm gonna do it and stick with it. Don't be doing all that. Oh, I just changed my mind, I want to do that. Don't do that, okay? Because you have a very high chance of not getting your money back. And don't get all butthurt and be like, take my money back, blah, blah. That's your fault. You're the one who can't make your mind up, okay? So do not change your mind once you start making payment to initiation. Do not get mad at the priest because you changed your mind. That's not their fault. That's your fault. So when you decide to make payments, stick to it and don't pull out and try to get your money back, okay? Just letting you know now. Because you getting your money back is slim to none, okay? I know people say, what if it's an emergency? That's between you and the priest. And really, and no matter whatever the emergency is, when the emergency is done, you can still get initiated. So sometimes even emergencies isn't an excuse, okay? Depends on what it is. To each their own, all right? And then what happens is this next after initiation is really up to you. You know, it's everybody's experience is different. What your job is and what your purpose is and why you got initiated, other than the common, you know, learn the craft, be healed, basics. Whatever else you find out your purpose is afterwards is personal to you. Even if you get the exact same king and queen, king Eshu and queen Orisha, queen Pampajira, somebody else, it doesn't mean y'all have the same purpose in the practice. Everybody's purpose is different. Everybody's soul journey is different. So whatever you expect to happen afterwards, it's up to you. Some people's life might be smoother. Some people's life might be rocky. Some of it might be both. Some people go through breakups. Some people go through job changes. Some people move. A lot of people have a lot of realizations when they get initiated. Everyone is different. Whatever your experience is, it's not right, it's not wrong. What it's doing is pushing you towards your purpose and making you a better person, because that is what your soul needs. Because a lot of people will be like, well, what do I expect once I'm getting initiated? It depends on you. It depends on how often are you paying attention, giving attention to your spirit. How often are you feeding them? How often are you doing the work? Are you keeping their altar clean? Are you actually, like I said, doing the work, or are you not? Are you practicing good character? Are you in alignment with destiny? Are you minding your business? Or are you not? So what you're doing, it just depends on, what to expect afterwards. No matter what you're initiated into, whether it's Kimbanda, it's Palo, or Voodoo, what to expect afterwards really just depends on you and your purpose. Everything and everyone is different. Every path is different. So a lot of people will ask as well. Oh, and also, when it comes to Kimbanda, a lot of times you need to wear red and black. Well, when it comes to Ifani Sheshe, a lot of times you need to wear white. So every practice is different. While other practices, it might not even matter. Like maybe some people in Palo, it doesn't even matter what you wear. I mean, it just depends on what practice you're in. It depends on what your spirit you're working with is requiring of you. So like I said, just know that everyone's different. Just because one person has to wear white or one person has to wear red and you get told something different, don't get all like, why is it different? Because that is for you and that is for them. Okay? So it doesn't mean they're doing it wrong or you're doing it wrong or they're doing it right and you're doing it right. It's always different. That's just how it is. A lot of people will say, well, you don't need to be initiated to practice. You're right. You don't need to be initiated to summon Oshun. You don't need to be initiated to summon Pampajara. But you do need to be initiated to learn a craft. If you don't know how to do it and you want to learn how to do it and you want to learn how to do it better, then yes, you do need to be initiated. And a lot of people will also say, there's always this argument is, personally for me, if you are not initiated, then that means you don't know what it's like to be initiated. If you do not know what it's like to be initiated, then you have nothing to say about those who are initiated because you don't know. If you've never been to the dark side of the moon, then don't try to describe the dark side of the moon to people who have been to the dark side of the moon. For example, so I've had people in the past say, well, I don't think people should be initiated. And there are people who aren't initiated. That's not your place to say that. That's not your decision. You were not in the heavens with them when they made the agreement with the Ludumare before they came down here to decide which experience they want to have. You're not the one doing the reading. You are not the one who's getting initiated who is saying, I want to be initiated. So if you are not initiated, you have no right to tell people if they should or should not get initiated. The only people who have the right to say if somebody should or shouldn't is the person who's speaking to a Ludumare and doing the reading and asking the gods if they should or shouldn't be initiated. It is not up to you. It's not even up to the person being initiated. It is up to the gods. It is up to Orisha. It is up to Eshu. It is up to Pampajara. It is up to Ifa. Not you. Okay? I have so many people out here saying that. But no, you don't need to be initiated to practice. But if you don't know how to practice, then stop hitting up practitioners and initiates and people who are priests and priestesses who took the steps to do it for secrets that you want to know. If you want to know how to do it, then get initiated. If you don't want to get initiated, then stop expecting us to give you information. If you have not made the sacrifices, if you have not paid the money, and if you have not done your part, if you have not done the work to earn that knowledge and wisdom, then don't expect us to give you the information. That's all I gotta say. So, and also when people are initiated, we tend to have a lot more, we call it Ashe power, occult power, because we made an agreement with those spirits, which amplifies that energy we're working with. And unless you're initiated, you're not going to have that or understand that. And I always try to explain this to people. Like, well, I'm in the universe and I'm connected anyways. Okay, well then, go over there and go get initiated. we don't care. If it ain't for you, it ain't for you. I don't care. If it's because there's a lot of people out there who are too prideful and be like, oh, I'm powerful already. Nobody said you weren't, bruh. Nobody said you weren't, sis. I'm just saying that you could have more if you have more knowledge. So I'm just going to say this to people who are out there saying you don't need to be initiated. You're right. You don't need to be initiated, and you don't have to be initiated in anything if you don't want to. We practitioners, initiates, we don't care. It doesn't affect us any. But if you decided not to do it and it's based off of pride and arrogance, then we call that a sogbo face. So a sogbo face looks like this. Ire face looks like this. Humbleness. Okay? So that's my take on that. And if some people aren't meant to be initiated. Everyone is not meant to be initiated. Everyone is not meant to be in Palo. Everyone is not meant to be in African traditional religion. Everyone is not meant to be Ifa. Everyone is not meant to do this. It's not for everybody. We are not Christians knocking on people's doors 8 o'clock in the morning, waking you up on a Sunday and asking you if you found Ifa yet. We are not converting people. This is a closed practice. So it's not for everybody. So if it's not for you, we don't care. You know, it's not our issue. That's why it's called a closed practice, you know? So my take is this: if you're too arrogant and prideful to get initiated after it was said that you should, then you don't deserve the knowledge, and you don't deserve the healing from us, and you don't deserve the Ashe. Because you made it in your mind that you could do it yourself, and you're powerful enough already. You don't need nobody. You just do it all yourself. Then go do it by yourself then. Nobody cares, since you know everything. You know? So that's my take on people who want to say you don't need to be initiated to practice. You're right, you don't need to be initiated to practice. But you also don't have a right to tell people if they should or shouldn't. And we don't enforce it. And to be honest with you, no priest or priestess or awo should not be enforcing initiation onto anybody at all. If you feel like someone's trying to enforce something onto you, then that's control and that's dogma, and that's not okay either. Like if you're like, hey, I'm not ready or I don't want to do it, that's okay. There's a difference between just being humble and saying I'm not ready versus being arrogant and be like, oh, I'm too proud, I don't need that. There's a difference. There's a difference between being humble and saying I'm just not ready, and being arrogant because you're too prideful to admit that you need help. Honestly. So know the difference, okay? If you're not, I've had plenty of people who want to be initiated and they're just not ready. And I'm like, okay, when you're ready, let me know. Come contact me. Cool. Not a big deal. Go on your journey. Maybe you need to move and find another place where people aren't going to judge you for having orishas. Maybe you just need more money. Maybe you just need more time to contemplate and be with yourself and think about if this is the decision you want to do, because it's a big decision. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with getting a reading done and taking your time to think, do I want to do this or not? So just because you get a reading, it doesn't mean you're approved for initiation. It doesn't mean like you have to get initiated right away. It just means, hey, this is what you're approved for. If you want to get initiated, cool. If not, cool. You know, it's not a big deal. So to me, I don't enforce anything on anybody. Like if somebody comes to me and gets a reading done, and even if they're not looking for initiation and they just want to get a reading done, and it pops up on a reading and saying, hey, you're approved for initiation, I always say, you don't have to, but just to let you know the door is open, and if you want to and you're interested, let me know, and we could talk about it. That's it. But no one should be enforcing anything onto you. Just like Ebo, for example, or offerings, I say, hey, this is required this is what Orisha said that you should do. I'm not going to make you do it. This is how much the Ebo will cost, because when we do that, we do it, not you. We are the trained priests. We have the Orishas. We are the ones who make the Ebo. We are the ones who make the offerings majority of the time. And it does cost money because we need to be paid for our work and our effort and our time we put in for other people. So, but no one should enforce it. I mean, you should get it done because if the Orishas say this is going to be better for you, then it's going to be good for you. It's for your growth and for your healing and to clean up your life, to clean up the energies in your life. It's good for you. Now, but nobody should enforce anything on you. No one should be like, you have to do this, you have to pay this much right now, or you're going to die. No, you shouldn't feel like a priest or a priestess is putting their thumb over you and trying to forcefully get money out of you. You shouldn't feel that way. I would advise that if it's required, you definitely should do it, or else it wouldn't have been mentioned in the first place. Now, prices vary. Some people could be very, very expensive. Some people not so much. My Ebo tends to be a little lower, while my readings tend to be a little higher. While some people's readings could be lower, free, and their Ebo is super high. Or some people have like a way they charge when the Ebo is with the reading or whatever. You know, everybody's different. You know. So, but the chances of you getting like a free Ebo is very slim to none, because that we come out of pocket for that. We got to buy the things to get it done, all that kind of thing, you know, all that kind of stuff, and all the time we got to do, and all the energy, all the Ashe power we got to use. You're gonna need to pay for it. You know, just like when you go to the doctor or a dentist, you want your tooth fixed. You know, I can't expect them to do it for free. You know what I'm saying? So you got to respect us as well. You know, we are the ones that are doing it. Therefore, we do deserve our due for doing things for you. But know that there's a lot of people out there who get readings done and they feel like they're being attacked by practitioners and being like put under their thumb and stuff like that. You shouldn't feel that way. No one should be doing that. No one should be controlling you. No one should be demanding anything from you. The only thing our job is to do, like my job as an Ianifa, you get a reading done, my job is to say, hey, this is what Ifa said, and this is what is required, and either you do it or you don't. If you don't, then whatever, you know, whenever you're ready, let me know. But if you wait, and if, like, let's say I had it say, hey, you need to do this sacrifice, you need to do this Ebo, and you wait 6 months, you're going to need to have to get a different reading done, because your energy is different by that time. So don't wait too long. When you get a reading done, like, I don't know if I want to do it, and then you don't even contact the practitioner or the priest for like a month or two, and then you're like, okay, I'm ready to do it. It's too late. It's too late. You have to start all over the reading again, get the reading done, okay? So because like your energy changes with time. So just know that when you're required of it, don't take your time to come back and say, okay, I'm ready now. A lot of times it's going to be, you know, you should have said it at the time. And then don't act all weird, like, oh, you're just trying to charge me more. Like, don't do that. Like, that sacrifice that was required was for this energy you were in at that time, okay? So I think that's it. I think all the information I could think of that I could get out. If you have a bad feeling about somebody, if you are getting a reading by somebody or you're about to get a reading by somebody and you have a bad feeling about them, like they just like have like bad juju and your energy on them, then don't work with them. Listen to your intuition. If you have a feeling someone is controlling you, if you have a feeling someone is doing crazy stuff to you without your permission, then don't work with them. Go find somebody else. Don't be convinced that they're going to control you for the rest of your life. You got to be in fear for the rest of your life. You have free will. You could get initiated by anybody you want. You could get readings done by anybody you want, and you could get Ebo done by anybody you want. You don't belong to anybody. Even if you're initiated, you don't belong to the person that initiated you. So don't let people control you. Don't let people put their thumb over you and act like you're property to them. It doesn't work that way. That's not okay, and that's not practicing Ewe Pwele. Ewe Pwele is good character, and in this practice we practice good character, and that's not okay. So if you feel like that, then you need to leave that situation. That's not right for you to feel that you're being controlled or manipulated or used. And Ifa in these practices is not just about money. If you feel like you're just being used for money only and they don't care about healing, they don't care about your well-being, then you're probably in the wrong house. Okay? Because this practice is for healing. This practice is for protection. This practice is for good character. and to help guide others to practice good character as well. So if you're dealing with somebody who's doing evil deeds and they're acting like evil people, and they threaten you to leave, you need to leave and find somebody else to protect you. That's not okay. Nobody needs to be treated that way. Not cool. Okay. If you want to be initiated into Palo or Voodoo, I do have some. I'm not initiated into that, but I am connected to people, associated with people who do. So if you want to be initiated into those practices, and you're not sure where to go and you're scared, I could forward you to other people that I'm connected to if you're interested. So I can't tell you the steps that needs to be done. But I do know, regardless, you are going to have to get a reading done. So also in regards to offerings and ebo, like if I list ebo for you and then you go to another priest, you can't tell that priest what ebo to do. You can't tell that priest to do the ebo that I listed you, because every priest does their ebo different, okay? If you want to get ebo done by another one, you're going to have to get a reading done by that priest. So just to let you know that, okay? Other than that, I think that's all the information I have for y'all. If you have any more questions, go ahead and just shoot me a message. My next video is going to be my experience being initiated into Kimbanda. Man, this has been a very intense last few Kimbanda years. I was doing, their energies are very Congo. Man, it was a lot. So I'm gonna share that information with my next video. So go ahead and look out for that one. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Mind of Ro. And I hope everyone is having a safe night. Ankh Uchasaneb. Namaste. Odabo. Peace.